What is up, guys? Welcome to 10 tips for the upcoming Twisted League seasonal game mode. This game mode will be coming out on November 14th and will last 2 months from the day of release. This game mode is essentially going to be a Zeah locked Ironman mode where players will have to complete various tasks, and when you complete a certain amount of tasks you will be able to unlock different cosmetic upgrades that will carry over to the main game. But if you don't care about cosmetic upgrades or cosmetics going into on your main account or whatever account you use to play this game mode, you can also compete on the high scores, as this game mode will have its own seasonal high scores. So after reading the dev blog and getting an idea of what this game mode could be like, I started reading different wiki pages just to see, all the things that are on Zeah, what the drop tables are, and what possible tasks there might be. So I think this is going to be an interesting take on the seasonal style of game modes that Jagex has come up with. It's also going to be the first time that a seasonal will give players a good chance at obtaining a reward and keeping them after the seasonal is over. So you can put a lot of hours, you're going to have at least 2 months to get some of these untradables. So at least whatever time you put in, you'll at least get something out of it. Anyways, let's get started. Number 10. Gaining favor for each of the 5 houses on Zeah is arguably going to be one of the most important things you do as soon as possible, as content on Zeah is locked behind the favor system. Once you've arrived on Zeah, you can head to one of the nearest fishing shops or find any chicken and grab a feather, as you'll need this to complete the Client of Karen quest, which is going to be one of the 6 quests that will be completable during the seasonal, as well as the Architectural Alliance mini quest. Completing the Client of Karen quest will give you a 500 XP lamp and allow you to put 20% favor into any house of your liking, which is going to be a nice head start to gaining favor on Zeah. Not only that, but you will also get one of the most important ways to get around Zeah is the Cardus Memoir book. And in order to fill the book, you will need to get a page from each of the 5 quests, which are rewards, and along that you will get 10% favor for completing each quest, but each quest also has 20% favor in each house as a requirement, so you'll have to do at least some favor in each house before you start getting started with that. But I'd highly recommend, once you complete the Client of Karen quest, if you've not gotten 30% favor already, that you use the 20% favor on the Piscarilius house. This will allow you to start the Queen of Thieves quest, giving 10% favor, giving you a total of 30% favor for the Piscarilius house, skipping the need to make your own planks just to repair the cranes, and instead allowing you to have 30% favor to start catching sandworms, and doing this all the way to 100% favor for the Piscarilius house. Other than that, I won't be going through how to get favor in each of the houses, as there are plenty of in-depth guides out there for you guys to check out, so definitely go check that out as well. But getting the quests done is definitely going to be a huge time save and a good way to start planning out what you want to do in terms of the different tasks that you're going to want to complete during the seasonal. Number 9. Wintertodt will be a popular place to go to during the seasonal, as you will be able to get a lot of resources fairly quickly, such as raw food, herb seeds, coins, and tree seeds for late game farming. Not to mention, Wintertodt will most likely have a lot of tasks associated with it. You can also get some really rare items such as the Dragon Axe. But before you get started at Wintertodt, you'll at least need 50 fire making. But before you start doing Wintertodt, I'd highly recommend you stop by and get at least 4 warm items. That way you take the least amount of damage at Wintertodt, which will allow you to save a lot more on food, and in the end, in the long run, do a lot more trips at Wintertodt. So these 4 warm items that are actually, luckily enough, fairly easy to get early on. So if you want to rush and do Wintertodt first, you can stop and get these 4 warm items, which are the Staff of Fire, the Lit Bug Lantern, the Clue Hunter Garb, and the Earmuffs. The requirements for each of these items are 20% favor to access the staff shop for the Staff of Fire, 33 Slayer, and 33 Firemaking to light and equip the Lit Bug Lantern, a spade for the Clue Hunter garb, as well as the location and the dig spot for the Clue Hunter garb, and only 15 Slayer to equip the earmuffs. So go ahead and get these items, as it's going to be a nice little save, especially if you're going to be going for some of the Wintertodt tasks, or if you are just going for the items themselves. So be sure to get these items, and on to the next tip. Number 8. At 25 thieving and 15% Hasidious favor, you will be able to start stealing from fruit stalls, which will be a great way to get payments for your farming if you do want to end up going past the farming guild, getting farming contracts, or if you just want some food. Definitely recommend. And if you are going to be trying this method out, if you just want to get some decent thieving levels, I'd highly recommend that you stop by the Hasidious Square at the farming shop, grab some baskets, make your way to the northeast house, which has 2 fruit stalls, and you can slowly start to fill your baskets with apples, bananas, and even strawberries. But these aren't as common, but you can definitely slowly save up some inventory space and drop the excess stuff that you won't need. Number 7. So if you are a player that goes for high XP rates and knows a little bit about tick manipulation, I'd highly recommend getting 50 wood cutting and cutting some mahogany logs north of the farming guild. That way you can have a 3 tick cycle for wood cutting, fishing, or even hunter if box traps are going to be available if the Eagle's Peak requirement isn't going to be there. So another tick manipulation item is the Celestial Bark, which is primarily used for hunter, but very few people that I know really use it. So since Swamp Tar isn't going to be available as far as I know, there might be some weird spawn somewhere. I couldn't find anywhere on the wiki that has a Swamp Tar, so you won't be able to do that. So mahogany logs are going to be really the only way to do the 3 tick cycle. But there's going to be other various methods such as 2 tick swordfish and lobsters. Definitely look up those on YouTube. I'm not going to go too much further if you're already not that much of a skiller anyways, or know much about tick manipulation, but just throwing that out there for the people that know what I'm talking about. I will be putting videos in the description describing how to do those methods, so in case you are curious, definitely check those out as well. Number 6. So I did mention some ways to get different kinds of food from fruit stalls or Wintertodt, but a really important way to get food, I think, for a lot of people is going to be the food stall or the baker stall near the statue of Korend. Another thing that I completely forgot is that there is one other fruit stall that you can steal from, and it's relatively close to a bank. You just got to go upstairs in the castle. So you can steal from the baker stall, run upstairs, bank a lot of food, and you can save that for Wintertodt or whatever you feel like. But there are other places to get different kinds of food if you are in the area. It's definitely worth mentioning. In the Shazian area, in the general store, you can get these food rations which buy for 390 GP each, and they heal 10 HP. Some pubs, there are 2 owners in the Hasidious district which sell 5 wine for 1 GP each. So if you want to get a little bit of wine, definitely stop by there. Or you can just fish your own food after completing some Piscarilius favor. I don't think there are actually any requirements to fish the lobsters or sharks, but there are so many fishing spots around Zeah that it really doesn't matter. So I thought I'd just mention a lot of the different ways to obtain food. So hopefully this will help you guys out. And on to the next tip. Number 5. So obtaining a rune scimitar will most likely be your best weapon until you get 85 Slayer for a whip, or if you manage to get a dragon sword at 62 Slayer, you can kill worms for a 1 in 10,000 drop rate if you're specifically going for that dragon sword. So in order to get a rune scimitar, you can get it from fire giants in the catacombs, but since it might be very crowded, you can kill the head Karen guards for a 1 in 512 drop rate, and you can also kill the level 132 zombies and skeletons in the Shazian crypts. Number 4. So this one kind of surprised me, but super energy potions will be unattainable, as well as obviously stamina potions, as amylase isn't attainable, and for some reason I thought Mortmire fungus was attainable, but unfortunately it is not, which makes strange fruits and energy potions the only way to get your energy up, unless you use the relic, which allows your run energy reduce rate to 0, thus making your run energy basically infinite. But as these are the only few relics that we know of that might be coming into the seasonal, it might not even be worth it to even pick this over other potential really good relics, as teleports such as the Xerix Talisman and the Cardis Memoirs will be a decent way to get around as well. But I definitely thought I'd put that in there, as I thought super energies were going to be in the seasonal, but unfortunately not, unless a magical Mortmire fungus appears somehow. Number 3. So according to the wiki and from what I found, unfortunately nature runes won't be that common in all of Zeah. There won't be any particular method to get a lot of nature runes. The best thing that I found that gives a decent amount is essence implings, which have a rare drop rate, which give 13 at a time if you are lucky, but I assume essence implings won't be that common, as other people will probably be catching them as well, and since everyone will be across Zeah, it's going to be hard to catch a lot of implings at a time. So the reason why I say this is because when everyone's going to be doing Slayer in the catacombs, there's going to be a lot of high alchable drops. Since we won't be able to use high alch, a lot of the drops will be sold to one of the 6, or maybe depending if you want to sell everything in every general store, there will be 6 general stores all across Zeah. So unfortunately none of them have any amplified amount like the good old Karamja shop from back in the day, which gave like almost double of the high alch value, but yeah, it will give a discounted price of what the high alch value of the item is. So this will be one of the best ways to get some cash, or you can kill dust devils, which also drop good items but also drop a lot of coins as well. Number 2. So as mentioned before, getting around Zeah is definitely going to be very important, and as run energy is going to be very valuable to have, getting those teleports such as the Xerix Talisman are going to be very important and going to be very time saving when it comes to going around and completing different tasks. But before you get your Xerix Talisman, I'd highly recommend that you complete the easy Karen diary, as this will change the drop rate from 1 in 250 to 1 in 125. So in case you don't want to go too dry and waste too much time getting the Xerix Talisman, I'd highly recommend completing that diary. Some of the requirements for the easy diary are 25 construction, 20 fishing, 12 herblore, 15 mining, 25 thieving, 15% Hasidius favor, started the Queen of Thieves quest, and since everyone's going to already have Druidic Ritual completed, those are the only requirements that you will need, aside from the different items that you'll need to complete each individual task. And lastly, number 1. So I think keeping relic points is going to be, I think, a decent thing to do, assuming we actually have the choice to keep relic points for very expensive relics later on. But unless we have to choose one and then it's gonna go down like a tree or whatever, then I mean, we'll have to see. But some of the relics that they did mention was there will be one that you can use for better drop rates, and some that I did mention before for infinite run energy, and some that there will be one that will be able to save 80% of your ammo, whether it be range or mage. So some of these relics will have their own uses. So if you want to go for a whip, you can get the one that gets you a better drop rate, or get an onyx at Skodazo. Or if you're gonna do raids, that's gonna save you a lot of time and get you some pretty decent gear, and obviously might allow you to complete the very difficult tasks. So yeah, until the game mode comes out, we will know exactly what those relics are and how the game mode will actually perform. But yeah, so that's my top 10, or my 10 tips for this game mode that's going to come out on November 14th, and it's going to be 2 months long. So I'm pretty excited. I've never really played Ironman mode before, and I think this is going to be an interesting seasonal game mode that Jagex has come up with, and the Oldschool team. So I definitely recommend you guys try it out. It's always fun trying out a new game mode. I remember when Deadman mode came out, it was probably like, it was just chaos. No one knew what they're doing, and it's definitely the most fun playing when everything is fresh. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. If you guys like these kind of style videos where I break down different things, top 10 ways to do something, or if you guys found this video useful. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any other tips, definitely mention them in the comments below. But yeah, subscribe, like, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.